Hello and welcome to Dingoes Ate My Podcast. I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
And I'm Justin.
And this week we're talking about the episode Chosen.
The final episode.
It is the finale. So, this episode originally aired May 20th, 2003, attracting 4.9 million viewers, which is, I think, the high for the season.
Yeah?
No, I tell a lie. A couple episodes did 5 million.
Yeah. Again, understandable. Well, depending.
Alright. At the conclusion of their kiss, Buffy takes a second to bask in Angel's presence before asking him why he traveled to Sunnydale. Angel tells her he has information on what's been happening and knows that the First is responsible, because the First tried to with the suicide.
Yes.
Buffy tells him that this time its plans are more ambitious than what they were during Angel's last encounter with it, as it is now raising an army. Before Angel can respond, Angel is knocked out by Caleb, who survived his stab wound, and is now with a black liquid dripping from his mouth and eyes, which looks super creepy and good.
Just a little bit. And more so, it was a slash across the gut, if I remember correctly.
It was something.
Okay.
You'd think he would be dead, but
He should have been dead.
Yeah.
just maybe. A little.
Buffy and Caleb's fight begins anew, but Buffy is able to best him again, and this time kills him for real by slicing him in twain from the crotch up using the scythe.
Yeah,
Which is a pretty good kill, even though we don't really see it.
Too violent for TV.
Well, yeah. And they didn't have the budget.
Yeah.
Because they're going to spend the budget on a few other things.
Yeah.
And it's not cutting Caleb in half. Angel recovers ready to take on Caleb himself, but finds two fresh halves waiting for him. Because... Anyway, Angel therefore gives her the information he obtained, as well as an amulet intended to worn by someone ensouled, yet more than human. He tells her that he will fight alongside her, but she turns him down. And he asks for a reason why. She tells him that if she fails to stop the First, she's going to need a second front and needs his team to organize it. Angel suggests that she actually wants him to leave because of Spike. The two discuss Spike's soul and Buffy's feelings for him. He shows obvious jealousy and annoyance about the fact that Buffy has feelings for Spike, as well as the fact that Spike has a soul, claiming that he's been doing it since before it was cool.
It's like, okay, Angel.
He's so fucking petty in this. I love it. He's like, I was doing it. My dick for me.
Well, apparently you're useless with the amulet, or you don't know how to use it, so we'll just give it to Spike.
Well, are you a teenager? Seriously? With how long you've been around? Aren't you over this?
No, and I hope he never gets... It's so funny whenever Angel...
It really is.
Whenever Angel gets, fucking petulant and shit, it's so funny. Because he's fucking 300 years old.
Yeah. But again, his feelings are somewhat understandable. Dude, it's the helmet open up and all this particular stuff. Try to have some tact with it.
It's good.
It is.
Buffy, in turn, annoyed by his childish and possessive attitude he has towards her, questions his maturity. Buffy refuses to confirm that she is in love with Spike and denies he is her boyfriend. But confesses that she does have deep feelings for him. When Angel warns her that the relationship would never work, Buffy brings up their own tortured romance. When Angel asks about the future and if he has a place in it, which is basically asking if they'll ever get back together, Buffy explains using a cookie baking analogy, which goes off the rails.
Just a little bit.
A little, yeah.
It's so good.
Because sure, you could try to have the cookie dough now, but it would just result in you probably getting sick.
Oh.
No thanks on the ride part.
That she still doesn't know who she is or the person who she's going to become and needs more time to find out. Angel agrees to leave and turns over the amulet to her, telling her he'll organize a second front and asks her to make sure they don't need it. As he walks into the shadows echoing his first appearance, Buffy tells him there might be a future for them, but it'll be a long time coming, if ever. He walks off saying, I ain't getting any older. Except you clearly fucking are.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do with the makeup department.
And it's been 7 years.
So very true.
Yeah.
Back at the house, Dawn angrily kicks Buffy's leg for having Xander try to take her away from Sunnydale.
No.
It's more of an annoyance thing. It's just like, I'm mad at you.
Yeah.
I love Buffy's response. You get killed, I'm telling. It's such a good line. Buffy grudgingly allows her to stay. Spike is in the basement working out his anger on a punching bag with a crude drawing an angel's face on it. He's literally just drawn this crappy face with spiky hair and two stupid little fangs.
No, Spike's being the childish one.
It's so good that all the vampires are really fucking childish. Because they're the oldest people here. Well, people. Buffy arrives and sees this, causing her to be irritated, stating that someday she would put them in a room and let them fight out their problems, and that she hasn't had enough jealous vampire crap for one night. There's never enough jealous vampire crap in this show. He asks for the amulet, whose exchange he had witnessed from the shadows, and she explains that it is very powerful and only meant for a champion. She then hands it to him. Buffy tells Spike that coyly that Faith still sleeps in her bedroom and she has nowhere to sleep. Spike says he doesn't want Buffy downstairs with him because he still has his pride. When Buffy starts to walk upstairs, he says he doesn't have any pride at all when it comes to her and that she can stay. I love that. He's like, you fell for that shit? I don't have pride. What the fuck?
It was just an obvious smokescreen. Seriously.
Later that night, Buffy finds herself unable to sleep and paces the basement as Spike sleeps. Suddenly, the first evil appears to her in the guise of Caleb. Unhappy that she has killed its lieutenant, but notes that there is an army of the undead waiting to rise. Once they do, the forces of evil outnumber the good, the scales will tip in the first's favor, and it will become corporeal. The first then shifts into Buffy's form and taunts her, reminding her that she's the Slayer, and that she alone is the only Slayer in the... there's only ever one Slayer. The first disappears as Spike wakes, and Buffy tells Spike she's realized something she hadn't considered. They're going to win. The next morning, Buffy unveils her plan to the rest of the Scoobies, asking their opinion. They're all shocked at the radical-sounding plan, but Giles declares it to be bloody brilliant, allowing him and Buffy to reconcile their recent arguments. Will is concerned that since she'll be required to perform the spell, having never done anything so powerful before. Buffy tells the plan to the potential Slayers. Afterwards, Willow expresses her concerns about using the magic again to Kennedy. She said that this is the most powerful magic she has ever attempted, and asks Kennedy to kill her if it turns bad. Oh yes, Faith and Robin have a discussion while preparing the school for the battle. Wood demonstrates that he understands her defensiveness over getting emotionally involved with men, and asks her to give him a chance after the battle. In which there's a really great exchange between the two of them.
Hey, you wanna go again? Yeah, I'm up for going again.
She's literally taking her belt off. Like, oh, Faith is the best character ever.
Faith, sweetie, you're gonna go to battle. Keep it in there, at least for a bit. Jeez.
Like, goddamn it, Faith. It's so good. During the night, Buffy goes to the basement where she apparently spends her last night with Spike. The next morning, everyone arrives at Sunnydale High, and we see a school bus, which I'm sure won't be important later.
And they need to get the hell out of there later.
Oh, hello, Chekhov's gun.
Chekhov's school bus. The Potentials head to the Seal of Danzelthar in the basement, while Kennedy helps Willow set up her spell in Principal Wood's office. After trying to give a farewell speech, Andrew is dragged off by Anya. There's a few people I'd like to thank. Not all of them good. It's so good.
Nice
and then he's dragged off. I like how he put all the effort into just a speech that he was just going to tell at the last moment.
He wants to give this big, stirring speech, and he's like, oh, fuck this.
Oh, dear, come on. Come on, sweetie. You're probably going to die anyway.
Maybe.
I love how Xander's use him as a human shield, and she's like, that's a good idea.
And then just all of them coming in, and the principal just welcome to the school, no running in the halls.
Yeah, no running in the halls, no chewing gum. Just like, what the fuck? Anyway. Dawn leaves to set up her post with Xander, determined to see her sister again. Principal Wood leaves to wait at his post for Giles. The core four share a moment talking about going to the mall after saving the world, which causes Giles to say, "The Earth is definitely doomed," echoing the end of the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like walking off about how Buffy would get expelled, and then Giles turns to the camera and he's like, "We're all fucked."
Just one little moment where, just as it kind of starts up, you're kind of wondering, it's nice to see them, and then they start discussing it, and it's like, on the one hand, it's kind of weird and a little strange for them to bring this up, but it's just so fitting. So fitting for that.
It's nice to have that callback, and Xander has a great line where he's like, "I needed a new look with the eye patch and everything."
Yeah.
And I love how immediately Buffy and Willow were like, "Oh, we've got ideas." And I'm like, God damn it. Xander and Willow talk down the hallway with Buffy before each of them peels off, leaving Buffy alone to the seal. She meets the potentials, Faith and Spike. They cut their hands to open the seal with their blood. They climb down into the hole in the ground and come face to face with an army of Turok Han. The Uberfam spot Buffy, Faith, and the potentials and charge towards them. "Come on, Will," Buffy pleads. Willow sits in the principal's office, the scythe before her. While chanting a spell, she places her hands upon the weapon. Both she and the scythe light up in an ethereal glow, and her hair turns white, the opposite of Dark Willow. I wonder if that's meant to mean anything. Buffy's final speech to the potentials had revealed that Willow is channeling the essence of the scythe in order to activate the potentials all over the world, defying the tradition of only one slayer per generation. Willow's spell will raise an army strong enough to do battle with the first. As Willow performs the actual magic, Kennedy tells Willow that she is a goddess, and "You're a slayer," Willow replies. Willow then lies on the floor exhausted and exclaims, "That was nifty," which is such a Willow thing to say.
Yeah, so true with what she did.
As Kennedy takes the scythe to Buffy, who is deep in the fight with Faith and Spike against many of the Turok, now numbering in the thousands. Okay, so let's talk about the whole everybody becomes a slayer in the last episode.
Yeah, apparently everyone becomes a slayer.
Well, everybody who could be a potential slayer becomes
all the potentials, you're slayers now. Congratulations.
And they show like a bunch of other girls around the world like getting slayer powers too.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fucking cool. I'm all in it. I'm all in for it.
And a couple of traditional ones, little girl baseball game, just like, I'm ready for this. A couple of simpler ones, all different around the world.
There's like the Asian one. I don't know if she's Chinese or Japanese. I think it's I think she's Japanese.
Yeah, those sorts of things. But then just the girl that's under abuse from either a family member or some gentleman just being like, "I got slayer powers now."
Yeah. As she pauses to give orders, Buffy is stabbed through her abdomen from behind by one of the Turok and falls to the ground. She passes the scythe to Faith and asks her to hold the line. As she lies on the ground, she sees several newly activated Slayers fall, including Amanda. In the halls of the school, a few Turok have made it to the surface and attack the group guarding the entrances. A small group of Bringers also appear and attack. During the battle, Anya is cut down by a Bringer. She died.
Yeah.
Anya dies. That's death one.
That's one death, yes.
I also love how they don't make her death like a big moment. It just kind of happens.
It's one of those
because you're not expecting it. It's just kind of like bang. Okay, she's dead now. Like she's a I love how that's done because it's like they don't build up to it. It just kind of happens in the heat of the battle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, not everyone's going to come out of the battle alive, obviously.
Well, yeah,
it's a thing that happens.
Unless you're some other anime bullshit, everyone survives. Cough, something else that I'm annoyed at. Anyway, moving on.
Andrew fights until he is overwhelmed. Principal Wood is brutally slapped by a Bringer, who is then killed by Giles. Xander and Dawn take on some Turok who have who are disintegrated by light when Dawn throws open a sunlight window. But more follow. In the Hellmouth, the first appears to Buffy as a mortally wounded copy of herself, taunting her, then kneels down in front of her and mocks her attempt to stop its plans. You pulled a nice trick, you came pretty close to smacking me down. Before asking Buffy, what more do you want? Ordering the first two, get out of my face, Buffy arises with renewed determination and knocks several Tarakan off the ledge. Other Slayers are reinvigorated as well, and the first disappears. Just then, Spike's amulet consumes him in blue light and blasts a hole towards the sky. Sunlight is channeled through the amulet and into powerful rays that begin dusting the Ubervamps. Very fucking conveniently. The ground begins to shake and rocks tumble. The surviving Slayers start to flee. Buffy tells Spike to do so as well, but he insists on finishing it. They share a quiet moment as the world crumbles around them. With tears in her eyes, Buffy tells Spike that she loves him, in which he replies, "No you don't, but thanks for saying it." He orders her to leave as he has to stay to finish the job. Buffy leaves and Spike disintegrates as the Hellmouth collapses. Okay. Here's the fucked thing about this. I think it was the WB who was airing Angel. They had announced that Spike was joining the cast a week before this episode aired.
Ooh.
So they completely undercut this scene.
Ouch.
They're like, oh yeah, by the way. And then this airs and everybody's like, well, okay. It doesn't really mean anything now.
It means
I
nothing.
thought for sure Spike dies, though.
He does.
Yeah.
Okay.
He just gets brought back. Okay.
Because of course.
They find a magical box and put his ashes in it, and then they open the box.
What they find is
out.
like freaking ashes in that rubble.
Yeah, I think that's.
Bollocks.
I think that's how it's explained. They like find his ashes are delivered in this box, and then I think Harmony opens it, and Spike kind of like rips out.
God damn, it's like
it's so good. And then we get a full season of Spike being a dickhead with a bunch of money at his disposal. It's great.
Bollocks.
Yeah, I'm not arguing. On the way out of the school, the Slayers find Andrew crouched in a corner. Xander yells for Anya, but doesn't see her dead and mangled body lying nearby. Dawn pulls him out. Faith is the last onto the bus as it pulls away, with Dawn looking back for Buffy. Buffy, in the meantime, has climbed onto the roof of the school and is running along rooftops trying to outrun the enlarging crater. She leaps onto the top of the bus, watching as the bus speeds off out of town. The entire town collapses into itself. With so there was CGI there.
yeah.
It wasn't very good CGI.
Yeah, only so much in the budget for what they did.
And also, it's 2003.
Yeah.
Like, it's not good in retrospect, but at the time it would have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's 2003 CGI. It looks a whole lot better than some of the stuff they've done.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a town collapse, and that takes a lot to, like...
Oh, yeah, especially on A, a TV budget, and B, 2003.
Yeah.
Well, actually, this probably would have been done like 2002 or so. The ground stops shaking, everyone gets off the bus. Xander asks Andrew about Anya's death. He comforts Xander by telling him that Anya died saving Andrew. Faith looks after a wounded Robin, while Kennedy, Vi, and a few others tend to the wounded Slayers. Everyone joins Buffy as they look at the large crater, which was once Sunnydale. Giles asks how this could have happened. Since everyone either died or is alive and with them, Buffy answers, Spike. Giles mentions that they should go to Cleveland as there's another Hellmouth there and lots more work to do.
God damn it, Giles, just give
Just
us a minute.
Such a good moment from Giles. As an exhausted Faith responds, "Can I push him in?" The Scoobies look at the devastation of Sunnydale. Then Dawn asks Buffy, "What do we do? What are we going to do now?" And Buffy smiles as credits roll.
Yeah.
So, what did you think of the finale?
From what you teased from last week, I figured it was probably going to be a little bit worse than what it was going to be, but...
So, only Anya is, like, confirmed dead?
Well, technically Spike is.
Technically Spike is.
Spike, Anya, a couple of the potentials who were Slayers.
Yeah, and we don't know about Robin. He's pretty seriously injured.
Yeah.
Maybe might die.
He might make it if they can make it to, I don't know, a hospital down the road. I don't know.
With just doing that fake out death thing that it did through the seriously, show you had to go through that, just answering that with faith and whatnot.
Surprise!
Him coming back and said, "Surprise." It's like, she is gonna kick your ass later for that.
Also, Caleb obviously got killed earlier.
Well, yeah.
Yes, Caleb.
But yeah, not a whole lot of people die in it. I mean, a lot of uber vamps, but...
That doesn't matter that much.
No, as it is, most people kind of ditched from Sunnydale, so the number kind of dropped down a whole lot from there.
And what was the fate of Trogdor?
We never find out the fate of Trogdor.
Did they ever finish their D&D game?
No,
Or
they
campaign?
can't very well now.
Well,
Yeah.
it's only in their imaginations anyway.
Yeah, but all their character sheets and dice and shit are in the middle of that crater.
Yeah.
They can just get new dice and new cheats, whatever.
And just
Reroll their characters.
the picture of the entire crater, little sign, "Welcome to Sunnydale." Oh, hang on.
And then
it's
it
down
falls
there.
down. That's so
Hang
good.
down. Hang on, it's down that way. Whee!
Okay.
Population crater.
Oh, okay. So when they're playing not D&D because they can't get the license for D&D,
Yeah.
did you notice what Andrew is wearing?
Because
Because it's a callback to another episode.
the cape robe sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what Buffy was wearing in the Halloween episode. It's a Little Red Riding Hood costume.
Oh.
Huh.
Okay.
There's a ton of stuff like that, just kind of like...
Is it just kind of tossed in there, or is like he needs some sort of particular thing to wear as a
He
DM?
probably wanted to have some kind of a hood, and they were like,
So that he
well,
could be the DM.
yeah, he's the spooky, mysterious DM, and he's wearing his bright red fucking hood. It's so good. Oh yeah, Robin becomes the only known principal to have survived his tenure at Sunnydale.
Hooray! And he will be forever the last principal at Sunnydale.
Because the other two got eaten.
Yeah.
And this time the school just kind of collapsed with
Well,
the
the whole
town.
fucking town collapsed.
It collapsed with the town, yes.
Yes, because Flutie died in The Pack, and Snyder died in Graduation Day Part 2. Also, you remember the episode Help with Cassie?
Yes.
One of her things comes true in this.
Right.
Because Buffy told Spike that she loved him, which Cassie told Spike at one point, someday she'll tell you.
Yeah. There you go.
Right.
There's a lot of little stuff like that in this episode.
For some reason, the episode felt a little rushed to me.
Okay, so I wanted to get into that. It was
Yeah.
originally scheduled to be a 2-hour finale.
Yeah.
And then the network was like, oh, yeah, we only want 22 episodes, not 23. Because they would have technically made it 23 episodes. So this would have been a longer episode. And you can tell, like, there's, like, we gotta get a lot of shit in.
Yeah, there's
In, like,
like a
40
lot
minutes.
of stuff that they needed to get in with that. And I'm like, how are they going to end it with that? And yeah, it was a little rushed because of it.
Yeah. It definitely is.
I can still say it somewhat worked.
Oh, no, it works.
Yeah,
It's just...
the ending more ambiguous, if anything.
I actually like that. I like that it's kind of like, we kind of win.
We kind of win, I guess. I mean, that leaves it open for another season, potentially in not Sunnydale.
Yeah, well, there was rumors of a spin-off starring Faith, which is going to be essentially Faith riding around on a motorcycle, killing vampires and shit.
Yeah. And of course, now, because of the finale, there's more than just one Slayer. anyone that
Well,
could have
yeah.
been a potential.
There was also a rumor that Willow would effectively get a spin-off, which was going to be like a Slayer kind of like training camp kind of thing, where she would be training other Slayers, and then you could have other characters pop in here and there. Alrighty, so let's get on to music. Robert Duncan does a whole lot of music in this episode, and they don't license any. Okay, so international titles. A lot of them are either Chosen, The Chosen One, or some variation on that. But there are a few good ones. Specifically, Finish. Victory of Freedom.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then French and German both have the same title, which is The End of Time, Part 2.
Okay. Because I guess they called the other one Part 1.
Yeah. So I think that's about it. Did either of you have anything else you wanted to add about the finale?
I'm still baffled that Trogdor made it into the finale.
Especially because this is May 2003 and Trogdor would have been like early 2003.
Yeah.
Because I looked that shit up because like the Trogdor episode like premiered in like January 2003.
Yeah, no kidding.
And it just had such a reaction with them. It's like, we need to add this in somewhere.
Yeah, that just shows how big Homestar Runner was at that time, I guess.
Well, that, and I mean, like, if you're gonna put a Trogdor reference in any show,
Yeah.
it's gonna be this, right? Like,
I guess, yeah. Maybe. If there's, like, any D&D moment, have, like, the dragon be Trogdor, I guess.
yeah, I mean, it's a show that you can easily throw that reference in, and 90% of your audience will be like, I get that.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so if neither of you have anything else to add, next week we'll do a little wrap-up on the series and talk about some favorite episodes and rank all the seasons, which will be fun. And we'll come up with maybe some favorite characters and stuff, to which there is a correct answer. And if you give the wrong one, I will punch you.
The correct one is... I don't know, you'll find it next time.
Yeah.
So until next time, I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
And I'm Justin.